Welcome back to Everyday Adventures in Cooking with Rick, another quarantine edition. We're still at home and we're still staying where we're supposed to, so we're doing more cooking. So tonight, in one of our quarantine editions, we're going to do a meal that should last my wife and I a couple of nights. And it's a meal that is one of her favorites. It's something she had growing up. It's something that she used to make for the kids when they were little, and it's shepherd's pie. Now, I've made shepherd's pie for her in the past where I've tried to fancy it up a little bit, and I added peas instead of corn. I put mushrooms in there, and whatever. She didn't like that. She likes traditional shepherd's pie, ground beef, corn, potatoes. Now, I do spice it up a little bit. I have to be honest, I'm not going to make it completely plain, but it's basically the traditional shepherd's pie. So that's what we're going to make for you tonight. Your ingredients. I've got a little over a pound of ground beef here. I've got about a pound of frozen corn. Got about 3 pounds. These happen to be Yukon Gold potatoes, but whatever potato you like. Onion, garlic, some salt and pepper, some milk for the potatoes, some butter. A little butter goes into corn and the potatoes. For the spices, I like Worcestershire sauce. And this is actually a Worcestershire sauce we got in Stockbridge, Massachusetts, a local, Baldwin's. So we're going to try that tonight. Some curry powder. I like a little bit of curry in mine. I know a lot of people don't like curry. If you don't like it, leave it out. Put some, you can add your own spices that you like. And a little bit of rosemary. So this is the ingredients to make shepherd's pie, so let's get started. Alright, so the first thing I'm doing is I've already peeled the potatoes. Now I'm just cutting them into cubes because we're going to cook this. Basically, you're making mashed potatoes. So I'm just cubing these up. Try and make the cubes as even as possible, I guess, so they cook evenly. And these should probably take about 20 minutes to soften up. Again, this is exactly the same. You're basically just making mashed potatoes. So we're going to put these right into our pot of boiling water, which I already have going. We're going to let those boil. Now, while those are boiling, we're going to get our meat going. So the first thing I like to add for this, I'm going to use, this is a big onion, so I'm going to use half an onion, which we're going to chop up small. Now I don't know, I gotta be honest with you, I don't know how my wife used to make it. She made it quite a bit in the early days of our marriage. So she never told me her secret recipe, but this is the way I make it. And she hasn't complained, except for the time that I said I tried to get too fancy on her. She wasn't thrilled with that.
Oh, the peas and the mushrooms.
Well, yeah, because I like peas and mushrooms. And look, I thought it was really good. So she ate it, believe me. She didn't complain that night. But she prefers to have it this way. All right, so we're just going to chop this onion up into a fine chop. Get our pan going. I'm going to put a little oil in the pan. Not as prepared as I normally am. We're going to start cooking those onions. I like a lot of onion in mine. So, as with most recipes I do, I'm telling you the way I like it. You obviously can make it any way you like. So we're going to let those onions sweat down. And when they do, we'll be back in a couple minutes. So our onions have been cooking for about 4 or 5 minutes now. They're starting to get translucent and sweat down a little bit. So now we're going to add a couple of cloves of garlic into this. And let that cook just for a minute or so. And then we're going to add our ground beef. So we're going to just chop this garlic up. Smash that garlic. Just mince this up. Okay, now we're going to add that garlic right into the onions. Now, we're going to add our ground beef right in there. And this is just a regular 80-20 ground chuck. You could also make this with lamb, which would be really good. Except, unfortunately, not everybody in my family likes lamb. So we're going to stick with the ground beef. Alright, so we're going to cook this until the meat turns brown. And then we're going to add some spices. And hopefully by then our potatoes will be done. Alright, so the meat has been cooking for, I don't know, it's about 6-7 minutes right now. So now I'm going to start adding my spices in there. Our potatoes are still cooking. They probably have another 10 minutes to go. So we're going to leave those there. So what I'm going to add to the meat is I'm going to add about a teaspoon of salt. And I don't actually cook with a ton of salt. Not as much as I know on some of these TV shows you see so much. We're going to add about a teaspoon of black pepper. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of rosemary, dried rosemary. I like it. Again, you can alter the spices. These are the ones I like. And this is probably the one that most people have the most problem with, the curry powder. I'm going to add about a teaspoon, a little less than a teaspoon of curry powder. Not much. I just think it adds a nice flavor to this. A little bit more. Because I like it. So I've got about a teaspoon in there now, but that's okay. Now we're going to add our Baldwin's Worcestershire sauce. For this, I'm probably going to add. It smells good. I'm going to add about. Well, I'm going to get a measuring spoon for this so we know. I've been yelled at before for not giving good measurements, so I'm going to add. Let's see what it looks like. Ooh, look at that. I'm going to add about 4 tablespoons of this. I'll tell you this. This Worcestershire sauce, as I smell it, it definitely has a deeper, smokier smell than the regular one that I buy, the Lee & Perrins, which I still like, but this one has a different smoky flavor. This is going to come out good, I think. So now we're just going to mix all these spices in. And we're going to let this cook for another 5 to 10 minutes as all this cooks together. And when that's done, our potatoes should be ready. Okay, so you can see our meat cooked for another, for about 10 minutes total. Look at that. Doesn't that look good? We're going to put that over here in this bowl. Let that sit while we got our potatoes and corn ready. So now what I'm going to do In the same pan, I'm just going to add about 2 tablespoons of butter into the pan. And our corn. This is just frozen corn. Just to heat that corn up. Okay. Now, while that's going, our potatoes are done. So we're going to strain our potatoes. And they were cooking just about 20 minutes. And we're going to take those potatoes, transfer them into a bowl. Now when I make mashed potatoes, sorry for the mess, you know, we're in the middle of a quarantine here, so you have to excuse the mess. This, you know, you can always do healthier, quote unquote, healthier options. I'm just making this the old fashioned way. We're going to put a couple tablespoons of butter in there. Let that melt right into the potatoes. We're going to add about a teaspoon of salt. I always like a little bit of black pepper in mine. Just give the potatoes a little flavor. And if you can believe it, I cannot find our potato masher. All right? And the corn is just on a medium-low heat, just to warm up. That's all. Just with the butter a little bit. I can't find my potato masher. So I have an avocado masher for guacamole. Hopefully that works. So I'm going to start with about a half a cup of milk. And, you know, if you've made mashed potatoes, you know you make it the way you want. This is working pretty good. If you think you need more milk or more butter, less butter, however you want. Right there I've got about a half a cup of milk in there. I know you can add vegetable stock or something else, maybe nothing. Some people don't add anything. I think a little bit of milk makes it better. I also don't mind little chunks in my potatoes. If you want them really creamy, you can put the mixer in there. But that actually looks really good.
Creamy. Creamy. Creamy.
My wife says just a dab more milk. She's giving me little tips from behind the scenes. She likes it a little more creamy. So I'm adding another quarter cup of milk about. And again, you could throw these right in your mixer, or if you have a hand mixer, you could do that. But look at that. Those look good. So there you've got your potatoes. And we're just going to take a little taste. Those are perfect, if I do say so myself. So now, our corn is heated up, our meat is done, our potatoes are done. So now we're going to assemble this. I have an 8x8 pan, Pyrex pan, and I'm walking in circles. We're going to put our meat on the bottom. It smells fantastic. Then we're going to add our layer of corn on top of that. last but not least, we're going to add our potatoes right on the top. So that 3 pounds of potatoes, look at that, may have been just a hair too much. You see, just a little bit left. That's okay. That'll be my lunch for tomorrow. Now, I like to put a little paprika on the top. This is a little smoked paprika. I think, you know, not only does it add a little bit of flavor, but it looks good. Okay, we're going to throw this in a 350 degree oven. Of course, I left my water tray in there from baking bread the other day. We're going to bake this in a 350 degree oven for about 40 minutes. And then it's going to be time to eat. See you in a few minutes. So now the shepherd's pie has been in there for about 40 minutes. We're going to take it out. You can see it bubbling away. Oh boy. Look at that. The potatoes got a little bit browned on the top. And it smells unbelievable. We're going to scoop a little bit of that out. See, the potatoes have a little bit of a crust on the top. And now you've got your shepherd's pie. Boy, that smells good. I gotta try a little bit. So, I actually like this a lot. I'm not gonna say that this is better than one that my wife used to make it. I'm gonna say it's different. Hers was good, this one's good. So listen, this is an easy, inexpensive recipe. Everyone in the family will like it. You can change the spices on the meat. If you don't like curry, put something else. You can make it more Italian with some basil, some hot pepper, anything you like in there. I happen to like it this way. So again, I hope you'll try this recipe, and I hope you like the channel. I hope you like what we're doing here. Subscribe, hit like. My wife's coaching me here. Hit the subscribe button, the like button. I think we have an Instagram account. You could go there. We're on Facebook. So again, thank you for watching and enjoy.